And there was what did you said yes to something the other day, and I was like, babe, did you even hear what she asked you? And you're like, no, I'm just trying to get this meeting started. And I was like, you need to stop and listen to what they're asking you, because sometimes you just be saying yes, and I'm just like, but they just had it like 10 minutes ago, but you're not realizing because you're just work is taking over. So
so I think it's and again, that's why I say we might not always, I don't want to paint the picture like we always agree, or we always, like as parents, we're always on this exact same page, but what we have to stop is them using us against one another to cause conflict. You said no, and then I said yes, and then now they said, oh, daddy said yes. But when it happens, sometimes you'll come, babe, did you say yes? I said yes, I said you'd be like, oh no, I said no because of mommy said no because of this, and that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Because let's be honest, you can't always have a running commentary. I'm not always in the house, I'm not always around, so I can't always know what's happened before, or this and that, and you can't always brief me on this happened, so this is why now next time they ask, I'm gonna say this. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you have to just live it in the moment, and it plays out, and the kids know.
Hey everybody, welcome to the 3L podcast with myself, Mimi.
And myself, E-Man.
How are you doing, babe?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah, and what do we talk about on the 3L podcast?
Life, love, and legacy.
Okay, I just love it when she says that. You just say it so well. It just sounds so sweet in my ears.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Looking very nice over there. Trim's looking spiffy.
Man, the trim is really trimming. You know, we try. I'm just, you know what, I'm very proud that I still got my full hairline. A lot of my friends are suffering. At this age.
Oh gosh.
Most of my I feel like most of the man them are bald. So I feel like it's a win, right?
It's a win.
It's a win. So I got to thank God, thank the genes, and just keep it moving.
Absolutely.
And keep the waves while the waves are there. Do you know what I mean? So
100%. We definitely need the waves.
Keep waving. So yeah. All right. So talk to me. What are we talking about today? What's this episode about?
Talking about being married and how we parent. If we parent like we're married, or if we parent like we're single parents in a marriage.
Okay, please explain, because I have no.
So basically, obviously, we've got kids, right?
Yeah, we've got kids.
So do we each make decisions separately for the kids, or do we come together and make decisions for the kids together? And that's basically because there's some people that the mom says this and the dad says this, and they're on different pages when it comes to parenting the kids. They don't have a united front, and that can cause division and just the madness in the house.
Okay. So I'm guessing you're saying you think that parenting together is better.
100%.
Okay, and how do you feel like we are when it comes to parenting?
I think we're very much on the same page with parenting. I think we have different parenting styles.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, the decisions that we make them together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have some examples.
So for instance, like when it comes to like, say for instance, bedtime, foods, there's certain things we both very much have the same. But how we approach maybe discipline and stuff, I think is very differently. Or how we approach the kids when they do something wrong is very different. So I think, there's certain things that are different, and there's certain things that we do together.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think we're definitely about discussing when it comes to the kids, like how we parent. I think it's definitely like, I don't feel like it's one way. Like there are things that I'm very passionate about, and you are too, and in your own way, and we might not always agree, but we always come to what we think is best for the kids. And so I think that's really, really important. I think even in regards to, like, for example, we don't really let them drink fizzy drinks. Which is weird. Sometimes I feel like, it's a bit harsh. Do you know what I mean? But then I feel like we want them to be different to us. Like, I never grew up on water. I only started drinking water later on in life. Like, and it's because I grew up on, mixed squash and orange juice, all of these. So we used to having sweet stuff. Whereas our kids, they drinking water is standard.
Yeah.
Like, eating vegetables standard. Like, is normal to them. They even enjoy it. Having a fruit, do you know what I mean, as a snack is normal to, and I think those things are things that we try to implement. But sometimes it's like, it feels a bit harsh. Just leave it. But but at the same time, it's the core principles. It's what we want for them. And even studying, I feel like I think we're a bit too. I feel like we're a bit too relaxed. I feel like compared to our parents,
Yeah.
like
Education was like a forefront with them, where now we're just like, be happy kids. The
we
world
want to
is
be
mad.
happy, we want to enjoy, like read it, like yeah, we definitely want. But I feel like as they get older, I feel like we are getting a bit more stricter in
Yeah.
regards to like having reading time and making sure they got their reading, because reading is so important.
So important.
It's so vital. Do you know what I mean? And just trying not so they're not just stuck in front of phones and tablets and all day long. Do you know what I mean? Just making them dumber. Do you know what I mean? Because that's
Yeah.
what it is. It just the brain cells are just reducing. Whereas I really want them to build it up. So I want them to read and read like at a high standard, much higher than me. Do you know what I mean? I want them to be using vocabulary that is way beyond my own, because I feel like mine is so limited. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of that is formed in your early years. I want them to learn other languages, all of these things. So I feel like yes, you have things that you want for your kids, but then also like for me, I really want them to do sports because I did sports.
Yeah.
My kids, they don't really want to do sports. But now they're starting little by little,
getting interested in it.
yeah, getting interested in it. But it's just like you don't want to push your hopes and dreams on them. You want them to do the things that they want and enjoy and express themselves in their own way.
I think it's a fine line, right? Like between how we were brought up and how we parent our kids. And
Yeah,
one thing I think I've definitely learned as the longer I've been in this parenting game is that there's good things I can take from. It's important to bring the good things that my parents taught me over and then leave some of the bad things behind. And yes, everyone says, yeah, it worked for you. Yes, it worked for me, but we're living in a different world.
yeah. Well,
It's different experiences that our kids are going through, so I can't parent them the same way.
no, I definitely agree with that. It's definitely different, but I think also like there are parents are different in it. So sometimes, like when I think about, I remember when I was a kid, I loved playing basketball, and there was a basketball camp. And I'll never forget this basketball camp. I can't remember. The basketball camp was like 2 weeks at the school. Like you're there, like you're playing basketball 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. I think it was 2 weeks. And then I remember the cost. I remember asking my dad, and my dad said no. Do you know what I mean? And then asking my mum, and my mum, remember my dad earns the majority of the money. My mum works, but she doesn't earn as much. I remember asking my mum saying, "Oh, your dad said no. There's no money. What can I do?" And I remember being so sad. And then I remember you can imagine, because it was at our school and my basketball coach is the one running it, they opened it to other people to join. I remember the day of the camp, like that Monday morning, the first day, my mum just giving me the cash. I'm just saying, okay, just go. And I was like, where did this money come from? And I know my dad was probably vexed because he's thinking we could have used that money to pay bills. I thought he didn't even have money. Because my mum was very much on like, always acting like she didn't have no dough. Do you know what I mean?
Big up, Mumsy.
Big up Mumsy for that. Do you know what I mean? But she gave me the money, and even to today, I'll never forget that. And I feel like maybe sometimes these are the types of things that now my mum's older and she needs help and support, especially if it's financially. I'm always willing to try and just, because I know she went the extra mile to try and help, like with these types of things and so forth. But I feel like sometimes parents do have different opinions because they've got different priorities, right? So I think my dad's priority was to pay the bills in the house and make sure all the bills in the house. And so, why am I going to pay that type of money? Like, it was hundreds of pounds. Why am I going to pay that type of money for him to go and play
Yeah.
basketball? Like, why would I, you know what I mean? When we've got bills to pay. And my mum was thinking, this is something really important to my son. I want him to go and enjoy it and do it. Let me give him the money. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm just saying that to say that I don't think my mum was wrong in doing what she did for me. Like, that was amazing. But at the same time, I understand why my dad said no.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging him on that because, and so sometimes parents are not going to be on the same wavelength, but it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, I remember as well, like, my dad would do what my mom would be like, no, you can't do this or you can't do that, and my dad would be like, leave them alone, let them go and explore. How are they going to know the world if you
Yeah.
leave them? You know what I mean? And there was always that balance, there was always that sort of thing between my mom and dad. Like, my mom wanted us to be like very like sheltered and stuff, and then my dad was like, oh, but they need to learn, they need to see the world, because we're not always going to be be there to guide them. And I'm grateful for that, because it gave me the strength to learn. And it's funny, I was having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she was asking about our kids in school, and we were like, yeah, we're going to be taking them to and from school. She's like, yeah, that's good, they don't need to be left alone, blah blah blah. And I was like, Mom, I don't think you remember that you used to leave us alone. She's like, yeah, but I was working. I was like, exactly, you were working, but now when it's your grandchildren, it's different. We can't do the same things that you did for us, like, because it's just different now.
Yeah, and it's a different time, right? It's a different time. But I think it's so important, like, to have that communication, because at the same time, I don't ever want you to feel that I'm undermining you. Like, because we know who's the most stricter one in our yard. Do you know what I mean? And we know how it is. And so sometimes, like, a lot of the time, the kids will come to me, and I say, "What did your mum say?" Like, or go and ask your mum, or your mum is your mum is in charge of that. Like, let me not overstep my boundaries, because it's not fair. Like, if you're trying to teach them a certain particular lesson, like, and you're trying to get them into a certain good habit, or you want them to have a certain mindset, and you want them to think in a certain way, it's wrong for me to then come and trample all over that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm always conscious of, yeah, I want them to enjoy it. I want them to have fun. I don't want them to be limited. I want them to know that the life they want, they can go out and achieve it and have it. And I want them to feel excited about the opportunities that they have in life. But also, it's important for them to understand that there are rules, there are regulations, like, there are parameters. There are times where you're gonna have to work within boundaries, and know that actually you can't overstep the mark. Otherwise, you might lose your job, or otherwise you might cause an accident, or be in an accident, or hurt yourself. So it's good to know that there are boundaries, and there's a point where you have to stop and think and recollect. So I try not to overstep, but sometimes I feel like, mommy's just being harsh now. Mommy, don't be like that.
I know. But I think the good thing about that is, like, he wouldn't say it in front of them. He
Yeah.
would call me and be like, oh, Mims, yada yada yada, or I liked that you did this, or I didn't like this. Maybe we can approach it in a different way. And I think it makes me think, because I know I can be like super strict with the kids, like, just because. So I take on board what he says. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll approach it in a different way, or I will speak to them outside of the event, so that we can both have like an open conversation. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like your default setting is no?
Yes.
I agree. And I feel like
110%.
my default setting is yes.
Yeah.
And so now I have to stop, because I will just say yes.
He would just say yes, and I'm like, and there was what did you said yes to something the other day, and I was like, babe, did you even hear what she asked you? And you're like, no, I'm just trying to get this meeting started. And I was like, you need to stop and listen to what they're asking you, because sometimes you just be saying yes, and I'm just like, but they just had it like 10 minutes ago, but you're not realizing, because you're just, work is taking over. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's, and again, that's why I say we might not always, I don't want to paint the picture like we always agree, or we always, like, as parents, we're always on the exact same page. But what we have to stop is them using us against one another
Yeah.
to cause conflict. Oh, you said no, and then I said yes, and then now they said, oh, daddy said yes.
Yeah.
But when it happens, sometimes you'll come, babe, did you say yes to da-da-da-da-da? I said yes, I said da-da-da-da. You be like, oh no, I said no because of da-da. Oh, mommy said no because of this, and that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, we can't always have a running commentary.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
can't always. I'm not always in the house. I'm not always around. So I can't always know what's happened before, or this, like, this and that, and you can't always brief me on, oh, this happened, so
yeah.
this is why now I'm gonna, next time they ask, I'm gonna say this. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you have to just live it in the moment, and it plays out, and the kids know, like,
Yeah, definitely.
and because they know, they're also cautious of, actually, I'm likely to get found out. So yeah, let me not try a thing. Apart from one of our children who will always try a thing.
110%.
Our one child that will always try a thing. And that's why I feel like he will win in life, but he is a problem.
We just pray to God.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you think couples can come together when they have completely separate parenting styles?
I think it's the obvious thing is to say communication, but actually I think it's to actually put down the rules. I think it's your house, right? Like I think there's a saying that I always say, success leaves clues, yeah? And we understand that for society to run successfully, there's laws, there's rules, there's regulations. Every single country has its own rules and regulations, right? There's no country that said, actually, you know what? We're gonna be different and we're just gonna have a country with no rules. Anyone could do whatever they want. It doesn't exist. But I feel like sometimes we're having households, though, it's like we haven't even really broke down the rules. Like the rules and regulations are there. That's what when when you go to court, they're reciting the rules, like the laws of the land. And so actually your home you make the rules.
Yeah.
That's your land. And so actually you need to sit down and say, what are the rules? Because again, if we say, look, these are the rules, this is the way we want things to be, this is how we want you to behave. And guess what? New things will happen and new rules will be
New
created.
rules will be added.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's not like you need to know every single rule. Like things will happen but eventually over time, everybody will understand the rules. So I think that is the first place to start in regards to what are the basic fundamental things that we want for our children and we expect from our children, and from each other as well. Like, do you know what I mean?
As parents.
As parents, you have to hold each other accountable.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think that is so great. Like, yeah, just come together and say, what do we want our kids to learn? How do we want to bring up our kids? And write them down on a paper. So when someone tries to deviate, you could like, oh, but we have the rules. Don't get me wrong, rules can be broken depending, but at least if you have a great foundation and a great start, then it just sets the basis for everything else.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. In regards to like, if somebody is listening now and they feel like they are separate from their partner, like so they say stuff and their partner says stuff, like what else do you think they can do other than like creating rules? What else do you feel they can do in order to overcome that? Do you feel like hanging with other parents can help, or and finding out what other friends and how other people are running their households?
I think that could be good. Like parenting groups are a great way to start. Like you can always just if you have friends that have the same, age as your kids, you can say, oh, this situation. And obviously you can always please you can bring stuff up in humor. It doesn't have to be like da 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 said this and da 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 and like, oh, but if you're in this situation, how do you deal with it? And then you can lean on their experience and how they've approached certain things. I think sometimes because we're so scared of showing that we're failing at things, we want to hide everything, but you're causing more hurt for yourself. If you have a friend who's the same age as your child, just say, oh, how do you guys deal with this? Because we're struggling with this, do you know what I mean? Or you don't even say I'm struggling with this. How do you deal with this? And it can be a great insight into how other people parent.
Yeah.
And, help you with your parenting.
I love that. I think that's it's really, really important. I think also just thinking about speaking to your parents, like because I learned so much. I tell people like I learned so much from my dad. Like in regards to like as my kids started to get older, just like, Dad, like how are you doing this? How were you doing this? Like, when you find a newfound respect, like how were you doing this? Son, I was suffering. I was suffering in silence as a man. And so to be able to have these conversations, I feel like sometimes we feel like, they say a wise person learns from somebody else's mistakes. Yeah. And I feel sometimes we want to make the mistakes.
Yeah.
Because like, you got a chance to make your mistakes. I want to have a chance to make my mistakes. But this is people's lives. These are our kids' lives that we're talking about here. Like, if I can avoid scars and traumas and mistakes that end up affecting them in the future, why would I not want to go down that path?
Absolutely.
So if I can learn, like, Dad, what were you going through? How did you overcome this? Like, having my dad to give me that, my mum, talking to her as well, speaking to other elders that have gone through this, like aunties and uncles that you trust.
Hey.
It helps.
It helps.
It helps. And again, they're coming from a place of love. I think sometimes you don't want to get the advice from strangers. You don't want to talk your business outside. But I think I've found, like, especially there's certain uncles that certain uncles that have really helped. Like, I remember my Uncle Collar, like, he made a huge difference. I remember one day in church, he just saw me, he says, man, you're not looking yourself. Like, what's up? And I just told him, and we went for a walk out during church. We went for a walk. Then we went in his car. Then we sat down, and he just, when a man just opened up to you and just said, "Bro, don't feel like just because I'm your uncle, like I've been where you've been, like I've been there, like." And he just, when someone opens up to you and lets you know that actually this is normal, but this is how he went. This is how he went about it. This is how I overcame it. And I use those lessons to then, the difference. The difference. Sometimes we're holding things in, trying to work it out ourselves, and you do not have the answer for your own situation.
100%.
But somebody has the answer for your situation because they've been through it. And they'll just deliver it in love. And this is why community is so important. This is why having a network is so important. This is, for me, like, actually having people around you that love you, that care about you, that have seen you to grow and develop. Like that conversation, me and my Uncle Carla, we still talk about it now. Like I still call him up, man. We still talk about, do you remember when we spoke that time? And don't get me wrong, we've had loads of other conversations before that and after that. But that one conversation made such a big difference because at that time, when the pressure was just on and you're just losing hope and you're just feeling like, I don't know how to convey this to my partner. I don't know how to change the situation around that. Seek help and support. No man is an island. But as men, we always want to be islands. So yeah, go to the dilemma. Talk to me.
Okay,
What's it
the
saying?
dilemma says, we've been married for 8 years with 3 kids, but when it comes to parenting, we live in 2 different worlds. I'm strict, consistent, involved in school, meals, homework. My husband is fun, loose, go ask your mom energy. Hey, it's like they're talking about us. We've had blow-ups because he'll override my decisions in front of the kids, bribe them when I say no, or say things like, that's your mom's rule, not mine. That's not nice. It feels like I'm solo parenting inside of a marriage. We're not aligned, we're just coexisting. I'm exhausted, I love him, but sometimes I feel like it'll be easier doing this alone. Can you be married and still feel like a single mum?
You be answering. Let me. This feels like yeah. You express yourself.
That whole can you be married and still feel like a single mum thing, there is, yes, I do believe that, but in the case of parenting, yes, there's some men that just want the wife to do everything with the kids, and
Yeah.
they just come in like like the mask. When he's not the mask, he's this normal
Yeah.
person, and then the mask goes on and he's fun, loud, crazy
Yeah.
person. And there's some dads that are like that, and then they play the kids off each other, and that's just such a bad thing to do, because it sets a negative connotation for how your kids view their mum as well. So I think you guys always have to be on the same page. You have to be on the same page. And like for this lady here, set rules and regulations for your husband. If it's like no fruits, no chocolate before this, or no, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to set rules, and then you have to both agree and sign a contract.
Yeah.
These are parenting rules, and he has to stick to it. And that way, if he breaks the contract, then you can say you broke the contract. Do you know what I mean? Because if not, it's only going to get worse, and you're going to think to yourself, I'm doing it all alone. I might as well do it all alone. And we don't want to go down that route.
Yeah, I feel like, I'll be honest. And again, sometimes you got to be open. Like, why was I I feel like I was the fun one at one point, and I had to really sit down and work out, because it's trauma. It's because I heard no so often. It's because I was always naughty and getting beat. It's because I always felt like I was just always under problems. I felt like I was just in prison. Do you know what I mean? So then you have your own children. You want them to be free.
Yeah.
You don't want them to I don't want to put on my children what I was. I don't want my children to look at how I looked at my parents. But my parents needed to do that for me to be who I am today. My kids are in a much better situation. They don't need that. Do you know what I mean? And so, like, yes, it's great to be fun and whatever. And I'm sure you felt it like, I'm telling these kids something, then dad will come and say, forget it. Everybody eat ice cream in the afternoon. And you're just like, is this man okay? But that's my own trauma, because, number one, there was no ice cream. And then when there was ice cream,
it was a no.
it was a no. It was a no. How many times you open up the ice cream tub and there's soup, there's stew, there's vegetable soup inside of the container, no ice cream in there. So I get it. So I feel like that there are sometimes where you have to work on yourself. And as being the fun parent can be nice, because it feels like the kids love you because you're always giving them yes. But actually, what damage are you doing?
100%.
Like, what damage are you doing? So again, my kids, as much as I would say, if out of the two of us, I might be the more fun parent, I'm still probably the most. They know when it comes to the discipline, I'm probably the worst. The mum is the shouter. The mum is giving them constant. But when it's
When
time,
daddy says no,
when daddy rains down, these are no. They don't want to be in that. They don't want to be in that
they
space.
don't want to be in
They
that
don't
space.
want to be in that space. They don't want those problems. So, but that's me learning over time. So I think again we got to give each other grace, because sometimes you have to look into and speak to your partner. Is that the case? Why did it? Why do they always want to sit on the? Because we have to have balance. Do you know what I mean? Because even now, sometimes I will say no and you'll say yes. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be like, is that you? And because you're in a good mood or whatever, you wanna, do you know what I mean? You wanna do something, or because you feel that actually I said no so many times, I want to say yes this time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, no problem. I'm just trying to copy your energy. Now your energy's changed. That's fine. I'm happy. But actually look at why you acting in that way. Sometimes that partner that's always saying yes and always wanting to be the lovable parent and so forth, why are they acting that way? It
Yeah.
might be trauma, it might be other things that they're going through. So they might need again to go to counseling or therapy to try and just get over that, because it's not good for our kids to always hear yes. The world is not always going to say yes to your child, especially when you're not around. Yeah, when they're at university and if they go away for uni and they're not home, they're going to hear no.
They're gonna hear.
They're going to understand that, you know what I mean? They're going to see prejudice. They're going to see all these other things that they haven't seen in your household. Do you know what I mean? So we got to prepare them for no. We got to know that their character's not defined by that. We got to prepare them for when things are unfair, when they do the work and they deserve the reward and they don't get it. We got to prepare them that in the world that these things happen. Because in your house, if they do what you say they should do, they can get the reward, right?
Yeah.
But in real life, we know
Work like
we've
that.
done more than what we're supposed to do, and we're still not getting what we're supposed to get. And that injustice, if you're not prepared for it, can be heartbreaking. It can really have a lot of trauma and a lot of effect on you as you grow up and become an adult. So again, our jobs as parents is not just to have a great relationship with our kids. Our jobs as parents is to prepare them for the real world as well.
We need to build them, shape them, and get them to a point where if they were on their own, they could stand on their own 2 feet.
Exactly. So I feel like that communication is important, and it's important that we're not always saying yes, we're not always saying no. There's a balance. And when we say yes and when we say no, I think please explain. Have the explanation. Don't say no and it just be no. That's one thing I always tell Mims. If you're saying no, explain why you're saying no. Like, why is it this time we're saying no? Like, so they know this time what's happened. Because in life, too often we hear no with no explanation.
Yeah,
And it just leaves you feeling hurt as a child. Like, I know what it's like, because I heard it, like, why? Why? Like, I need to know why. And sometimes it can feel long, because it's like, why should I need to explain myself? But it's important. We're trying to shape their minds. We're trying to get them to understand. I want my kids to challenge everything. I don't want them to just accept no. We get our kids used to accepting no. They go out in life, they hear no, they accept it, they give up.
Eesh.
Do you understand?
Yeah, absolutely.
I need them to challenge it. When they hear no, why did I hear no? What do I need to improve on? What do I need to do better so I can go and get it? Does that make sense? So this is why I'm always like to moves. Don't just say no. Give them a reason why. Explain it to them. Like, let them know why you're saying no. And even when you're saying yes, explain you've acted in this way, or because you've been good, or because you let them know, and that will help shape them and help them understand why they're hearing a yes this time. And when they hear a no, it makes sense because you're giving them reasons why.
No, absolutely. And I think that's so fundamental in parenting. And that's one thing, like Emmanuel said, I'm learning to be more expressive in why. Because the no makes sense in my head, but in a kid's head, it's just like, why?
Also, from your background, right? We come from Nigerian parents. No is no.
No is no.
There's no
It's a
explanation.
complete sentence.
There's no. We don't even hear sorry. Let alone our parents can do something wrong. They won't even say sorry to us. Let alone they said no and they wouldn't. And now they're gonna tell us
why they're telling us no. It's
in
like,
which how it doesn't make sense to them. So we're trying. Remember, our jobs is we're creating a new bubble. We choose what we bring into that bubble. We choose what stays, what goes.
that is so true.
So we don't, just because we are used to something and it's normal to us, doesn't mean we have to make it normal to our children.
100%.
We can choose to change that.
That is so true. And to be fair, I never really looked at it. Like, we are creating our own bubble, and they're going to take what they learn and go into the world. And what do we want the children that we have brought into this world to show to the world? Because they are a reflection of us.
Yeah.
And that is so true.
You know, I'm good at what I do. I just, it's just God given. You know, it just
Gosh.
is natural. It just
Here
comes
we go
out
again.
without even, just straight from God's lips to my ears
Hey,
to the people.
To the people.
This is how it is.
All right. Thank you so much. Any more things to add?
No, we're good.
So thank you guys. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Let us know your thoughts and your comments below. I always like looking forward to reading your comments to see how else we can add value. But please like, share, subscribe, tell everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what we want to start doing is we want to start bringing your questions onto the show. So what we want to do, write your questions in the comments, and we're going to have a new segment that will end with a Q&A. So we'll end with some of your live questions. It can be about relationships, marriage, anything you want to ask us a question on. Put it in the comments. We'll take it from the comments.
And if you don't want to put it in the comments, send us a DM.
You can DM us as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a good time. I don't even know.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Good life. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.